Welcome back, Mr. Disney.
Disney, get it together.
Put me back in.
Oh boy, just when you thought the Rachel Zegler versus Disney drama couldn't get any wilder, surprise. South Park just dropped their own DEI-themed bomb, and now the dumpster fire has become a full-blown inferno. The Snow White castle? Torched. The dwarfs? Unionizing. The prince? Labeled a creeper. And poor Rachel. Probably rage-watching the South Park episode in her kitchen, jabbing a dopey plush with a Disney-issued spork. If you've been lucky enough to miss this madness, maybe hiding under a rock or better yet, a cozy pile of dusty VHS tapes from Disney's golden age. Don't worry. Here's your crash course.
Nothing has brought me greater joy than watching the Walt Disney Company absolutely panic over the last few weeks.
We all know Rachel Zegler was cast as Snow White in Disney's upcoming 2025 remake. She's got serious talent, a stunning voice, Broadway chops, and a TikTok presence full of musical theater flair. But she's also known for shading the 1937 original like it stole her spotlight. Her now infamous quote, "It's not 1937 anymore. Snow White isn't dreaming about love, she's dreaming about leadership." Leadership of what exactly? The Enchanted Forest PTA. Even before a full trailer dropped, the backlash hit harder than Gaston's biceps. Fans of the original weren't thrilled about Rachel publicly dragging the classic like it was a bad ex. She called the prince a stalker, said the OG Snow White was passive, and claimed the new version doesn't need saving. And sure, girl boss energy is great. But maybe don't bash the very movie that made Disney, well, Disney.
They're mad at South Park because they're making fun of their woke ideologies, constantly race swapping or religion swapping everything in their movie.
And that's when the spiral truly began. Cue Gal Gadot side-eyeing Rachel Zegler on stage like she was about to channel Regina George in full force. Behind-the-scenes whispers quickly turned into full-blown no one's talking to each other energy. You could practically hear the evil queen muttering, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the messiest of them all?" Then, just when it seemed things couldn't get any messier, South Park dropped a nuclear-level satire bomb. The DI Special, a brutal sequel to their infamous Panderverse episode. And oh, my sparkly poison apple, it was ruthless. They didn't just roast Snow White 2025, they obliterated it, scooped up the ashes, and used them to light a bonfire labeled cancel culture. Rachel Zegler, parodied into oblivion. Cartoon Rachel was seen screeching about diversity, scolding Disney execs, and demanding more attention because the evil queen wasn't intersectional enough. The satire was so close to her real-life quotes, it felt like Trey Parker and Matt Stone had a backstage pass to her group chat. Reportedly, Rachel was furious, blindsided, livid, demanding Disney swoop in to defend her like a PR knight in shining armor. But guess what? Disney, already knee-deep in flops, from flailing Marvel titles to fizzled Star Wars spin-offs, was too busy trying to reverse engineer success with Bob Iger's spreadsheet sorcery. Their response? Crickets. Total corporate silence. Just Mickey Mouse nervously glancing at his lawyer like, wait, can we sue a cartoon mouse?
Before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic, have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of vulnerability study, opposition research?
All of this chaos is unfolding while Disney is still scrambling behind the scenes, desperately reshooting parts of Snow White. Why? Because it turns out, audiences don't want a musical TED talk on the patriarchy tucked between talking deer and glass coffins. According to leaks, entire scenes have been rewritten, Gal Gadot's evil queen moments allegedly toned down, musical numbers axed, and Rachel's promotional appearances canceled across the board. She was supposed to dance with Jimmy Fallon, and instead, she's home tending to her metaphorical poison apple tree. Even SNL and late-night talk shows ghosted her harder than Prince Charming on a budget. And then came Rachel's cryptic social media posts. One Instagram story read, "The loudest voices often have the smallest minds," paired with a close-up selfie that screamed, "I'm about to square up with a Pixar lamp." Fans were left wondering, was she throwing shade at South Park, Disney, Gal Gadot, or maybe the entire state of Florida? The answer? Probably yes. And speaking of Gal Gadot, rumors of tension between her and Rachel had been simmering for months. At press events, the two were reportedly dodging eye contact like exes stuck in the same friend group. Word is, Rachel wasn't thrilled when Gal started improvising scene-stealing lines as the evil queen. Meanwhile, Gal stayed quiet, smiled for the cameras, and likely went home to sip wine and rewatch Wonder Woman, muttering, "Couldn't be me." The internet, naturally, ate up the drama. Fans began calling the movie It Ends with Snow because every new development felt like a plot twist from a messy May breakup novel. Disney's once impenetrable PR machine, leaking worse than Ariel's wig in a thunderstorm. And where was Bob Iger during all of this? Reportedly locked in daily crisis meetings, trying to figure out how to uncrash the Snow White train wreck without alienating what few fans still believed in the Disney remake dream. Then came the legal bombshell. Rumors swirled that Rachel's team was considering a lawsuit. Apparently, her contract guaranteed certain promotional appearances, and Disney bailing could mean breach of contract. Imagine suing the studio while still starring in their film. That's like showing up to your own wedding and slapping the groom with a subpoena for not complimenting your dress. Meanwhile, South Park wasn't letting up. They teased more segments from the DI special, doubling down on their roast of Hollywood's obsession with progressive branding minus actual death. So yeah, Snow White got roasted, Rachel got roasted, Disney got slow roasted over an open flame, and the internet won. Twitter memes went absolutely feral. YouTube edits comparing Rachel's real interviews to the South Park parody trended for days. Clips of her saying the prince stalked her cut to cartoon Rachel screaming the prince is a colonizer had everyone howling. To be fair, Rachel did have defenders. People who said she was a young actress caught in the crossfire of a broken system, unfairly targeted by trolls and failed PR strategy. And sure, valid point. But also, maybe don't publicly trash the film that laid the foundation for your role. It's like getting hired at a bakery and loudly announcing that bread is stupid.
Snow White, Rachel,
Rachel, can you tell us a little bit about your version of Snow White?
Yeah, I mean, Snow White is the girl you remember, but she's definitely made for the modern age.
Oh, Rachel, it's hard not to feel at least a little sympathy. Once hailed as a rising star after West Side Story, she stepped into this role ready to lead a new era of Disney princesses. But fast forward to now, and instead of crown and glory, she's being dragged on Comedy Central by cartoon versions of herself and memed into oblivion by the internet. Someone please get Elsa on the line. Maybe a Frozen crossover could save the kingdom. And so here we are, a princess without a kingdom, a studio floundering in chaos, a co-star basically mouthing "Don't drag me into this," and a South Park special that may have officially buried the poisoned apple. It's a mess, to say the least. Will the film bounce back? Can Rachel recover from this PR storm? And most importantly, will Disney finally get the hint and stop pumping out these live-action remakes? We're begging. Sometimes it's okay to let fairy tales rest in peace.